Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 6. I hope that you are having a good week. Yes, I'm in my office. I work a few days from my office, but I teach mainly online also this fall semester. Anyhow, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're going to do this week. You have your midterm exam coming up this week, which starts, I believe, from October, let me just check, 7th, and it will be closed on October 11th. It will be over chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This week, we're going to study chapter 6 and 7, and you will see that it's not really that long because we're not going to cover everything from chapter 6. And the reason is because a lot of materials that are on chapter 6 will be things that we're going to discuss and the topics that we're going to discuss in future chapters. So for instance, this chapter talks about unemployment. So I really don't want to spend time talking about it here because we are going to discuss unemployment in detail in chapter 9. So we're not basically covering everything from chapter 6. For that, please just follow my notes. The focus basically from chapter 6 will be on shocks. It's kind of toward the end of this chapter, shocks and sticky prices and flexible prices. So it's really super easy when you look at it. So that's the only thing basically matters basically from this chapter. You should be focused more on chapter 7 because starting basically from 6 and 7, we are going to focus on only macroeconomic topics. So far, whatever we discuss basically were common between micro and macro, but starting today from this chapter, we're going to talk only about macroeconomic topics. So that's a good thing. And we're going to start actually by talking about GDP. Gross domestic product. You probably heard about it. We are going to define it. We're going to learn how to calculate it from 2 different approaches. We are going to talk about the components of GDP, and you will see that we have a little flashback to chapter 2 when we talked about the circular flow model. It was at the end of chapter 2. So if you do not recall the circular flow, definitely go back to chapter 2. We had a closed economy in chapter 2. We didn't have trade. We didn't have any government. We had these radical assumptions in chapter 2, but now we're going to look at a more kind of realistic circular flow model in chapter 7, where we introduce the components of GDP. We're going to add government, we're going to add taxes, we're going to add savings, we're going to add trade with other countries. We have an open economy, which is something basically all the countries basically have, with the exception of probably North Korea. But everybody has an open economy. So these are the topics basically that we're going to discuss in this chapter. You will see that we have a little bit of a math when it comes to calculating. Let me turn this off. I have extra monitor. It's just giving me lots of blue light. Okay. What was I saying? You will see that we have a little bit of math, but the math is not really that complicated and is basically just using formulas. And by the way, you can definitely have all the formulas when you're taking midterm exam or the final exam. And you can even have your notes. It's absolutely okay with me, but there's just one caveat here. The tests, all the tests are timed. So I definitely don't want you guys to spend a lot of time searching your notes and then lose time, okay? So notes basically are for those students who studied all the chapters and they are just writing few things when they're taking the test to give them some hint about the topic that they already studied. So I definitely do not recommend you guys to have the entire notes in front of you when you're taking the test. It is not helpful. It's distracting. And honestly, you're not going to have that much time to go through every little topic from your notes, okay? Because the test is timed. The test is also proctored, meaning that it will be recorded. You need to have a webcam. So as I told you way at the beginning of the semester, you definitely need a webcam. And as I told you, you could borrow one from Lone Star College Sci-Fair. I am not sure at this point in October they still have anything in stock, but just reach out to them. Don't wait till last minute. If you are taking the test, I know that I'm talking about the test instead of talking about GDP, but that's okay because I might forget. And then remember that you have few days to take the test. So take it on any time, that any day you want. But remember, as soon as you open it, you have to finish it. Okay, so there's no save button here, unlike the homework assignments. And also, I should see your face at all times. So remove if you have anything in front of your camera. I have a little sticker on my camera because you don't know what happens, right? Who is going to, I don't know, hack your computer or whatnot. So I always have that little sticker, but make sure you remove it. The lighting in the room is good, so I can see your face at all times, things like that. Otherwise, I will get red flag on my side. It's not like I'm watching all my students taking the test. That's not happening. I'm teaching 6 classes, so I'm not there where you're taking it, but I will get messages from the Proctoria, which is the proctoring system we have. Anyhow, one thing that I want you to pay attention is when you are taking the test, if you run to any issue, do not send your emails to my D12. Only send it to my Lone Star because I have it on my phone, so I can check it and I can respond to you faster. We can resolve the problem faster. And make sure you're using your Lone Star email, otherwise I won't get it again. So don't use your Gmail. Make sure you put your name, course number, section number when you are sending me an email for any time, not just for tests. Believe it or not, we're in week 6 and I still get email from you guys, your friends, with no information about their class. And it's hard for me to respond to that email. I sometimes want to like, okay, I'm going to just ignore that email. But the thing is, if you do not put your information, I'm not able to help you because it's difficult for me to go through my rosters. I have 28 students in each class. I'm teaching 6 classes, so just do the math, okay? So it's impossible for me. I really don't have time for that. So it is your responsibility to put all of your information and help me to help you, okay? Another thing about the test is do not wait till last minute to take it. I know you want to take your time getting ready, study, but don't take it on Monday at 10 o'clock. I might not be able to answer your question. I might be sleeping, who knows? I have 2 young kids, so I might be tired or whatever. I have family issue, whatever. So do not wait till last minute, okay? I understand you want to get ready. I understand you work, you have other classes, but on Monday night, don't take it on Monday night. I had some students in the past, they wait till last minute. Even if I see their emails, maybe some is a technical issue, I cannot resolve it, okay? So do not wait till last minute. I cannot emphasize on that enough, okay? Review the notes, definitely read the textbook, review the practice question. If you look at week 6 on D12, you have a little practice question. These are the questions with answer. Make sure you know the answers to them. Watch the video, make sure you understand the topic, okay? If you don't understand it, you might not be able to answer the question. So make sure you understand the topics when you're going through each chapter. Hopefully you studied from day 1, so you're not going through all these 6 chapters before you take the midterm exam. What else? That's it. You should be fine, honestly. If you study, if you understand everything, you should be fine. Okay, but again, let me know if you have any question and send it to my Lone Star email only. I was talking about chapter 7. So for chapter 7, you will see that we have some formulas. Again, you can have the formulas, make sure you know how to use them. You will see that we are using 2 different approaches to calculate GDP, depending on the information you are getting from the question on the test. And I will tell you, of course, if you want to use which approach, standard approach or like income approach, we have another one. So depending on the information you have, you'll know which formula you have to use, but make sure again that you know how to use the formulas. We will talk about the components of GDP, those factors that are not inside our GDP, they're excluded from our GDP. We will briefly talk about GNP. So GDP is the gross domestic product. It's whatever, basically. I don't want to spend that much time because I have other videos, but let me just quickly tell you something. So GDP is basically the value of anything that we produce within our borders, okay? So we really don't care who the producer is. The producer can be a Chinese company, it can be a Canadian company, it can be an American company. We don't care. As long as they are produced within our border, inside the United States, they are part of our GDP, okay? But we also have another thing, which is called another indicator, which is called GNP, gross national product. When it comes to gross national product is bigger than GDP. And basically, it's about the value of anything that we produce anywhere, okay, anywhere, any country, anywhere in the world, outside United States, inside United States, but the producers are using our resources, okay? American resources, American capital, American labor, okay? So that's the big difference between GNP and GDP that I want you to pay attention. And there's also a little formula for GNP. That's pretty much it. As I said, for chapter 6, definitely follow the notes because we're not going to cover everything. We will cover those topics in the future chapters, so don't worry about it. Focus on the midterm exam, okay? And let me know if you have any question about any concept, any topic, anything, okay? And I wish you the best on the test, okay? Till next time.